What's up everybody, this is Martin van den Broek and welcome to a brand new video. And the reason you clicked this video is because you saw it in the title, you're struggling with it and you want to get rid of it. Those nerves, the number one question people have all around the world, what people are struggling with when it comes to public speaking, storytelling, standing in front of a group in general, is those annoying nerves. You want to get rid of them, you want to get pumped, you want to actually tell a story and not worry about your breath or your what your hands should do, your dry mouth, and just in general that feeling of always being confronted with, I don't want to do this. Oh, I have to present a meeting again. Oh, I have to stand on stage in function of my business. I have to pitch. You don't want that. But the good news is the fact that you're watching this video, that you decided to look this up, click on the link, and actually watching me right now is already step one, because you decided, versus other people that say, well, then speaking and storytelling is just not for me. I don't like the feeling. I get nervous. It's not my thing. You said, no, it's a choice. I can learn. I want to do something about it because I see the added value of speaking, of storytelling. So again, the fact that you're watching this is good news. Now, how do you downsize those nerves? How do you turn them into healthy adrenaline? How do you get yourself pumped, enthusiastic, that next time you stand in front of a group, 2 people, 100, doesn't matter, that you're like, yes, let's go. And there will always be some sort of tension. If there's no tension, you don't want it badly enough, but there's healthy tension, or there is freezing up, becoming red, and no clue what to do tension. You don't want that. That's what this video is about. So without further ado, let's dive right in, downsize those annoying nerves, and make you a confident storyteller that you want to be. Let's go.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
The first thing is the fact that you're nervous to stand in front of a group, no matter how big, that it's normal. It's one of the biggest fears worldwide. Even, they told me that it's even bigger than death. We can debate about that, but it's a big, big fear. Standing in front of a group, everybody looking at you, you're being in a very vulnerable position. Things can happen, definitely if you're standing on stage, you're like, oh my God, something goes wrong, everybody will see me. It's a very normal thing to have. I also had it, and I think most speakers, most storytellers that you might now admire, TED Talk speakers, they all had it. They all have nerves, they still have, including me, when we get confronted with something that we don't know, we still have it, so it's normal. Take some comfort in that you're not alone, and that there's so many people out there that have the same thing, and like I said before, that you can actually do something about it, and that you took that first step by watching this video. But how do we change that? How do we downsize those nerves and change those nerves into healthy tension, adrenaline, in you being enthusiastic and pumped for telling your story? Well, I'm going to divide it up in 3 elements. 3 elements that will help you deal with this now and in the future. Those 3 are: 1, experience. I'll tell you in a bit what they all mean, but 1, experience. 2, mindset. And 3, technique. Experience, mindset, technique. First thing is experience. When we're talking about having nerves, being nervous for something, not just speaking or storytelling, standing in front of a group, but just in general, being nervous for something is often because you're doing something for the first time, or you're doing something that you haven't done before or did a lot of times. So your body doesn't have the necessary experience, the necessary encounters for it to recognize all the different elements and to know how you react in such a situation and recognize the sounds, the movements, things like that. If there is no recognition through that experience, there will be nerves because your body is scared. It's an environment it can't control, it doesn't know, and we are programmed in general that if we don't know it, we don't recognize it, we fear it. Look at any change project in any company, it's new, it's out of the comfort zone, panic. It's the same with speaking. And to make it even more concrete, first time I did a roller coaster, I'm not a big fan of everything that goes fast and high. The first time I did a roller coaster, I was nervous. I was pooping my pants. My body was going meltdown. But I stepped forward, and the first time I did the roller coaster, I almost cried like a baby. I admit it. I was super nervous. Why? Because my body didn't know the environment. There was no recognition. The sounds, the speeds, the thing going over your shoulder. I was completely in an unknown world. body freezing up. I don't know it, my God. Third time I got into the roller coaster, still nervous, but I was more calm. 12th time I went into the roller coaster, I walked in and I almost walked in like I owned the place. Okay, still had some nerves, but the 12th time was much easier. Why? Because my body's like, I know this. I know how these straps work. I know how the roller coaster will go. I know what the sounds are. I know when people will start screaming. I know it's pretty safe to go in there and that the wheels rattling is a normal thing to happen. There was recognition. If there's recognition, I know it, I trust it, and it calms me down. It's the same with speaking. It's the same with storytelling, standing in front of a group. How much opportunity have you given yourself so far to confront yourself with that unknown environment? You're nervous because you're not experienced enough. And a lot of people say, well, you need the confidence. Some people are just confident enough to do this. And I like the quote or the saying by Mel Robbins. Look her up, great speaker, lovely books, definitely read them. But Mel Robbins, she says, when you're doing something new, it's not about the confidence, because confidence comes from experience, from having it seen before multiple times. And in the beginning, you do not have confidence. You do not have the confidence yet, or you wouldn't be watching this video. So you have to have the courage. I love that. You got to have the courage first, just like me, have the courage to go into the roller coaster, to build up that experience and take any opportunity you can get to stand in front of a group, no matter how scary, no matter how you will mess up or become red, doesn't matter. Take the opportunity, have the courage to build up that experience. The more positive experience, there won't all be positive, but then you will learn. But the more positive experiences you will have, the more you will feel that you grow and that you will recognize certain things. Because after a while, just like with the roller coaster, recognition comes. You will build confidence. I have done this before. I have seen this before. So this might be, when you're watching right now, not saying it is like that, but I can imagine that you're like, yeah, I heard that before, but I need a solution now because that's over a longer period of time. Yes, it is. But I'm starting with it because if you really want to get rid of the nerves, this is the number one thing. And it takes time, but it's going to make the biggest difference. So don't hide. Take any possible opportunity, no matter how small, in your company, in your private life, to step up and tell your story. Build that experience, build that recognition, calm down, and in the end, get confidence from that experience. That's number one. Number two is mindset. What I mean by mindset is, and this is something I think I heard from Finn Jan. He's also a very talented magician, storyteller, speaker training. Definitely look him up. Is your mindset. It's the fact that you're nervous because you're scared of what the audience will think of you. You're nervous because if you make a mistake, will they point? Will they laugh? Will they talk about you? Definitely in a business, and your colleagues, will they whisper after the meeting if you did something wrong? It's about you. And that's what he also says. You're nervous because in your mind, you're walking in with this whole thing is about me as a storyteller. But it isn't. And that's what I like about what he's saying is I completely agree. The moment you walk into a meeting room, the moment you walk on stage and you say, look at me, I'm going to tell you a story, a comedian, I'm going to tell you some jokes. The moment you do that, it's no longer about you. Yes, they're looking at you, but it's about the audience and their experience. And the reason you're nervous is because you're scared of the opinion and the judgment. But actually, you should walk in with the mindset about, it's not about me. No matter what happens, it's all about the audience and giving them the best possible experience. Again, an example to make it concrete for you. If you have a great anecdote or you have a great experience in your private life, you went on holiday and something shocking or surprising or amazing, or you met Beyonce or something on your holiday because she was in the same hotel. When you get back home and you're at a family party, no matter how many people there, you cannot wait to tell that story. You just want to move in there and tell that story because you met Beyonce on a great holiday somewhere because she was in the same hotel. And you're telling it, and you want to tell it because maybe you already told it to some other people, and you know that people will laugh and be like, oh my God, you met Beyonce, and you're fully focused at that family party on the story, and you want to tell the story. It's in you. You're like, I want to share this because if I share this, I know my uncles and aunts and nephews and nieces that are listening, they will love it and be like, oh my God, you met Beyonce. And you forget all about you. You don't think, how will they look at me? How should I tell this? What will they think I'm weird? Will they think? No, you do not think a moment of how the audience will perceive you. The only thing you can think of is, I want to tell this story. I want to tell it as juicy as possible. And I want to tell them the amazing experience I had by meeting Beyonce. And they will react and you will love it. And you never thought, because it's not about you, it's about them. You want the same thing in your business environment, in your conference environment. You want to walk in and tell the story in the same way. No matter if you're in the screw business, in the beverage business, in the finance business, the engineering business, every business, if you're passionate about it, can be very sexy, can be very interesting, can be very entertaining, can be super interesting to hear for people, not even if they're not in the business, as long as you tell it in the right way. So with the mindset, again, ask yourself, how am I walking in? Am I walking in thinking, what will they think of me? You'll be nervous. Am I walking in, I have a really cool story that I want to share in this meeting, and I can't wait to share it. And no matter how I'm going to tell it, if I mess up, my breathing doesn't matter. I need to share this story with you because you're going to love the finance numbers, because you're going to love the strategy. You're going to love our new project. And just like with the Beyonce story at the family party, you will not think about how they experience or how they look at you. That will downsize your nerves also. So it's not about you, it's about the audience. So you have experience for building confidence, and we have the mindset. It's not about you, it's about the audience. And the third one is a technique. Techniques, because with the experience, you're thinking, Marnik, that takes time. I need to build up the experience. And then with the mindset, that's okay, I can think it, but it also takes time for me to flip it, that it's not about me, but it's about the audience, and I need to tell that story just as I tell my holiday experience. I understand, and that's why you have the technique, because you also want stuff that will help you build that experience in the most comfortable way and change that mindset in the most comfortable way. And with techniques, I'm going to give you two. We can make a whole video about it, but I'm going to give you two to start with. Is number one is interaction. Now, if you don't know how to interact, I'll put a video at the end explaining you how to ask questions and how to best possibly interact with your audience. But it's interaction. That's a technique you can learn. Anyone can ask questions. And if you do it in the right way, you will engage your audience. And what that does is, and this is 100% foolproof. If you go on stage, stand in front of a group, make sure you prepared a very easy but valuable, check the video, valuable question. The moment you ask that question and you get a response, and hopefully a positive response from the audience, it will downsize the distance between you and the audience. Because before the meeting, before the conference, before your speech or pitch, the audience will be this big, scary animal. But the moment you ask a question, you get a response, you downsize the distance, it will become human. It will become people invested in your story, engaged in your story. They reacted. Distance becomes smaller, and you downsize your nerves. Like I said, it's foolproof. You don't even have to believe in this. Just ask the question, get a response, and notice what your body will do. So start with the interaction. Don't know how to do it? Watch the video at the end. Second thing is, if you're interacting or if you're talking, go even further in downsizing that distance, and don't talk to everybody. You probably heard that before, saying you gotta picture everybody naked. I don't know who thought of that, but that's stupid. Don't picture everybody naked. Just look at 3-4 people in the audience. Now, if you have a small meeting, this is not that relevant because you only have 3 or 4 people. But in a bigger audience, when it becomes even more scary, 1, 2, 3, 4 people out of the audience, friendly faces. Talk to them. And when you talk to them and you switch your view, the audience will get the feeling that you're talking to everybody. But you will be talking to those 3 or 4 people. And it's less scary to talk to 3 or 4 friendly faces you see in the audience that are nodding and be like, yeah, I'm getting this, than talking to 400 or 500 people just staring at you, because that's scary. So interact, look at 3 or 4 people, friendly faces, use them as your audience. And the second one besides that interaction example, the second technique I want to give you is name the elephant in the room. Dare to mention what is going on with you. Meaning that if you are still nervous and you're building up that experience, you're on your journey in building that experience, that confidence, changing your mindset, mention what is going on. Let's say you're so nervous that you have a dry mouth. Let's say you have a shaky voice. Let's say you have no clue what to do with your hands. If it's that bad, mention it. Mention that you're short of breath. Mention that you have to take a drink. Mention that you are nervous but also a bit excited, or mention that this is your first time. This is not weakness. This is vulnerability and will get you sympathy. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, one of the biggest fears in the world is public speaking, is storytelling, standing in front of a group. So everybody looking at you is just happy they're not you. So when they see you're nervous, but you mention it, and you say, yes, I am nervous, or I have a dry mouth, I'm gonna drink, or I'm shaking a bit, or bear with me, this is my first time, whatever's going on, and you mention it, they will understand. And they will show you sympathy. And that sympathy will also downsize your nerves, because you see, again, this audience is not this scary animal, but they're just human beings that are ready to hear your story and understand that you're a bit nervous and that you're on your journey. Now, this is a different thing if they all pay 2,000 euros for a ticket, then perform, but I imagine you wouldn't be standing there if you're still nervous. But in a normal situation that you are, mention the elephant in the room. Don't be scared to do it, and it will downsize the nerves and will raise the sympathy the audience has. I can't pronounce it. Sympathy. The sympathy the audience has for you as a speaker. So those are the three things. From experience to confidence. Give yourselves those opportunities. Make it recognizable. Get comfortable like me in a roller coaster. 2, change your mindset. It's not about you. It's about the audience. Focus on your story, on wanting to share it, on their experience, and forget about how they look at you or how they perceive you. Not important. If the story is great, they will not even focus on that. And the third one, use these simple techniques to ease up your journey to that confidence, to that mindset switch, by asking questions, downsizing the distance, by focusing on 3 or 4 people if you have a bigger audience instead of talking to that scary animal everywhere. And if it gets this bad, just mention it. Be vulnerable, mention the elephant in the room. You're nervous, it's okay, people understand, downsize the nerves. And if you combine that and do it 5, 6, 7, 8 times, I will guarantee you, from my own experience and from any storyteller, public speaker that looks experienced and is maybe doing this professionally, they all started out being nervous. But they took the decision, just like you took the decision to watch this video, to take action. Do not say it's a gift and I don't have that gift, so I'm going to push it away, stay in my comfort zone. Notice that it's a choice, and you just made that choice. Use these 3 things. Use the videos at the end of this video to help you also ask questions, and I will guarantee you, at the end of this year, you will be cruising through your storytelling, public speaking days. And yes, you will sometimes experience nerves when it's still, again, new or the audience is huge, but it will be positive tension. It will be adrenaline. It will be you being like, come on, let me on stage or let me in this meeting room. I want to share my story. That's what I want for you, and I hope this video can have a small element or a small value in helping you ease that journey. Hope you enjoyed, hope it helps. If so, like the video, subscribe to the channel, more videos coming. But for now, you were awesome. I'm Marnik van den Broek. Bye-bye.
Are you listening? Damn.